Dr. Dominique Reese here, reporting live from the office, pulling this all-nighter, getting it done for my client who I will meet tomorrow. But again, I wanted to share with you what it is I do as a financial coach. I understand that many people don't understand what a financial coach can do for them. And I'm hoping to demystify this experience by sharing with you some of the behind the scenes as to what I actually do for my clients. So the client I am working with tomorrow signed up for the Master My Money, Makeover My Money 6-hour intensive. I flew to Maryland to meet with her, and we will spend 6 hours together redoing, making over her financial life. I create an agenda which allows me to stay focused on what I need to cover with her, because again, 6 hours, it flies by when you're having fun. And believe me, once we get going, once we dive in, there's a lot of fun to be had. There's so many aha moments. There are breakthroughs. There are moments that you didn't even know would happen in such a session, but it's part of the experience. So everything that actually happens, I can't articulate because every situation is different, but there are always breakthroughs and aha moments as we're working. So again, I create an agenda, and the agenda starts with an exploration as to why they came to me in the first place, right? So we cover that together. Next, we go into their goals. Goal setting is extremely important, and it's a piece that we all don't take seriously enough when it comes to our financial life. But I take it quite seriously with my clients, and as their coach, I keep them accountable to their goals. That's why we're doing this in the first place, right? Because you have something that you want to accomplish. Otherwise, you wouldn't care. If you didn't have anything you wanted to accomplish, you would simply spend as the money comes in, and you wouldn't care about any gaps. You wouldn't care about any mismanagement. You wouldn't care about living paycheck to paycheck. You wouldn't care about making ends meet. But most of us do care, and we have reason to care because we have things we want to accomplish. So we discuss that. Next, we dive into the numbers, and this is where the bulk of the time is spent. We spend a good amount of time focusing on your income and your expenses. Now, this front piece, it really dives into the expenses. We do several things that I've done with all of my clients in terms of not only diving into the numbers, but understanding how we can reduce the numbers and understanding what's essential. Now, we don't go into just getting rid of things and getting rid of them for the sake of getting rid of them. We look at what's necessary. We look at what we can reduce or eliminate over the next few months in order to, one, achieve the goal, because again, this is all about the goals, or two, to free up cash so we're able to use that cash, which I like to say redirect it. We recapture the cash, and then we can redirect the funds to other areas of our financial life that need it the most. So this is where I find money for my clients. This is where the aha moments start to roll in, because everybody always says, I don't have any money to find. There's nothing left. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Everything that comes in is going out. I'm sure of it. I'm positive that is exactly what's happening. But when you work with a professional, someone who gets paid to do this all day, like me, I find things that you don't see because you're not programmed to see them. You are in it so deep that you don't realize it's a want and not a need. You don't realize that it's non-essential. You may even realize that it is an essential, but there is still a way for us to reduce it, where you may just look at it and say, no, I need that. There's nothing I can do about it. That's not always the case. So it takes an objective third party to come in and look at what's going on and really give you an objective look as to how you can get things in order. So we cover income and expenses in depth and in those ways. Next, we look at savings. Now, I educate my clients about four to five types of savings, depending upon if they're a business owner or not. And with that, we redirect monies to saving. Most of my clients are not saving. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and one of their expenses is not saving. So we incorporate savings as an expense. I don't care how much we save, as long as we do it, it's the first step, because money is behavioral. So we want to be sure that we're able to create the expense so that you get in the habit of actually putting something away. In the beginning, it doesn't matter how much. What's most important is the behavior, that you're actually doing it. You're actually taking a piece of the money that's coming in and socking it away and not touching it. Not transferring it back over to your savings account, to your checking account a few days later. That is not the point. So again, the coach, the accountability becomes very important, which is why this money thing, it's not always prudent to go it alone. Even if you think you can do it, even if you feel like you're doing okay. When you have a coach, someone who's objective, someone who can keep you accountable, it doesn't overwhelm you, but it also spreads the responsibility. So now you're not responsible to yourself. When we know we are our biggest critics, but we are also the best procrastinators for our own projects, right? So if you know you're supposed to budget and you don't budget, who's going to keep you accountable if you're not working with anyone? Exactly. No one. So that's why it's important to start thinking a little differently when it comes to your money. Even if you think you've got it under control, I'm sure I could probably provide some value to what you're doing, which will not only increase your savings, but increase your income and decrease your debt. Those are my specialties. I focus on income, savings, and debt for the clients that I work with, because it's usually those three things in particular that consume our income or will create the highest value when we need to create change in our financial life. So those are the levers. Then we focus on income stream development. Now this right here, this is the hottest thing in the game. Let me tell you, no one's focusing on this. And to the extent that they are, they're not doing it the way that I am. Our industry has a tendency to focus on decreasing expenses, and I get it. It's easy. It's the easiest way to find money to create value, right? But what I'm learning is that you can decrease the expenses to the bare minimum, and it still may not be enough for your client to be able to achieve the goals they need to achieve. So then you have to focus on increasing income, which takes a little longer and can be more arduous. It requires a lot more thought capital on both parties, on the coach and the client. So we tend to stay away from that side of the picture, when actually it's where we should be. And that's exactly where I am with my clients. So we focus on income stream development in this 6-hour makeover intensive. I help you create 10 additional streams of income. I don't know about you, but I know I can always use more money coming in. And if you don't have more than 3 streams of income, I'm going to create 7 more for you. You need 10. You need to be thinking about 10, because some of those streams of income need to be passive. You need to be able to make money without showing up. Right now, all of us are showing up to make our money. So we're limiting the amount of money that we can make. When you start to create streams of income that are passive, your money starts to work for you without you having to show up. So that's the key to this thing here. It's not to just focus on the expenses, but to focus on the income side as well. So in my program, I do that. We focus on developing streams of income so you can not only decrease the expenses and find money, but increase the income and increase what you've got coming into your household all around. Lastly, we take action. Coming out of this 6-hour intensive, which is intense, as I just laid out to you, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of follow-up. There are a lot of tasks because we've got to implement. Everything we've done thus far is on paper. And the numbers tell a story and they never lie. So the numbers are objective and they tell you exactly what you need to do to see the results you want to see. But if you don't take action, they're just numbers on a paper. They don't matter. So that's why it's so important, again, to have a coach, someone like me who can keep you accountable after the work is done. Why would you pay me $2,500 and more to do this work and then not implement? A waste of time, a waste of money. And I don't get my results, so I'm pretty pissed about that. So it's an investment for both of us. You invest in me so that I can invest in you, and we both get the results that we're seeking. So ultimately, taking action is probably the most important part after having discovered what we need to do. Because if you don't take action, again, they're just numbers on a paper telling a story. But until you implement what the numbers tell you to do, you won't get the results. You won't see them zeros adding up. You won't see the commas, having the effect that you want them to have. You won't see any of the goals being accomplished. So having a coach keeps you accountable. It makes sure that you're implementing the strategies that we've taken all this time to build. And it makes you motivated. I motivate you to do what you said you're going to do because we know how easy it is to not do what we say we're going to do. So I'm just going to show you my notes, what I've been spending the past 2 hours creating, so that when I meet with my client tomorrow, we're going to run through this thing. I have all my notes out. I know exactly what I need to share with her. I'm going to build it out for her, present it to her, and then afterwards, she's going to know exactly what she needs to do. So I'm going to flip the camera around for a second and show you, or maybe I'll just bring the papers up. But I'll show you what I've been working on. Okay. So this here is my agenda. And then we go into the notes, right? So here are my notes. And it really just starts with some notes from her questionnaire. And then I go into the income and expenses and things that I want to, be sure that I cover with her. And then we go into some savings and more about the expenses. We do a 30-day look back, which is a very unique exercise I have all of my clients complete so that we're able to understand what your behavior has been over the past 30 days. It's just like our history. You don't know where you're going until you know where you've been. So you've got to take the time to see what you've been doing over the past 30 days. So we do a 30-day look back. Again, this is the stuff I love. I can't tell you how much I love to dive into the numbers and understand the stories that are being told by your behavior. But this is the work that I do, and I spend quite a bit of time doing it. So it's very thoughtful, it's very planned, it's well thought out, and there's strategies. Then I'll show you really briefly the budget that I create. So I use an Excel document and I create a budget. Let's see if you can see this. I've showed this before. It's kind of difficult for me to get the angle right, but I create a budget starting with the income and what's coming in. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see the changes, but I create this Excel document and it shows your income, what's coming in, and then it shows what's going out, which are your expenses, and then it shows what's left over, which is your net income. And from there, you're good. Now, obviously, budgeting is an active process, but once you're able to put the numbers in and then track, meaning every day you're making a note of what you spend, and either every day or at the end of the week, you go in and update the budget with the numbers from your tracking. This keeps the budget up to date and accurate, so you always know exactly how much money you've got to work with before the next payday rolls around. Also, knowing that everything for that pay period has been taken care of. So this is the stuff I live for. I mean, I make a living doing it. I enjoy it. And the women I serve come out having a totally different perspective about their money. Not only is their foundation set because I've built it, we've built the foundation in this 6-hour intensive, But afterwards, there's 90 days of talking to me. There's 90 days of follow-up. There's 90 days of Q&A. There's 90 days of accountability. There's 90 days for you to stay on track, where we all know we fall off. That's where we go wrong, is when we fall off. So really, when you decide to make the investment in a program like mine, you decide to not only invest in creating your financial foundation, but you invest in a coach, you invest in your accountability, and you invest in the future. Because now you know what you need to do to hit the goals. Now you know what it's going to take, and you're actually doing it. It's not just talk. It's not just, okay, I got to wait until this happens. It's not, oh, I've got to wait until I make more money. No. We're building these strategies using your current income with the assumption that you will never make any more than what you got going on. So we've got to make this work. We've got to maximize and optimize your income, your savings. If you don't have any more coming in, and it's not going to be any more coming in, we've got to work with what we've got. And we have to make it work for us, not us working for it. Because it's never how much you make. It's all about what you keep. So ultimately, this is an exercise that no one should go without. I know many of you will, because you're not sure what to expect. But I hope this video has been able to give you some insight as to exactly what I cover, exactly what I do, and your role. So tomorrow when my client comes in, I'm going to present this information to her. It's going to be a methodical process that we go through. I've got an agenda. I know exactly what we're going to cover. We're covering all the core areas of her wealth foundation. And she's going to leave with a long list of things to do, but I will be there to help her do them over the next 90 days. And from there, she will be set. If she follows the strategies to the penny, she will accomplish the goals that we've set out and laid out in her session. So I'm going to stop there so the video doesn't get too long. But I hope this is helpful. Please let me know, what you think. And if you're ready to master your money and to do a 6-hour makeover, hit me up. Dominique at ReeseFinancialServices.com. DOMINIQUE at ReeseFinancialServices.com. That's my email, 213-787-4399. Reach me via phone. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, but I really don't know how to work Instagram just yet, but I'm there. So you can find me. I am available. Let's talk. Get on my calendar, and I can share with you how I can help you to make over your money and create a foundation for wealth. And really for financial freedom, because that's what we're doing over here. We're creating the foundation for financial freedom, so you don't have to work as hard for your money, but you're saving, you're increasing your income, and you're reducing that debt. Give me a call. I would love to serve you.